that in there. Hello. Hello. How are you? Welcome to Bemis Crafty Corner. This is Friday Night Nuts, and I'm your host, Els Better. Oh, and it's cold outside, guys. It is cold. It is 50 degrees outside. And I was just out there. Hi, Harry. He came to say hi. See how he is? Hi, baby. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? Okay. All right. So we're not really into the crafting tonight. What we're into is, acting like a bunch of 12-year-old boys. Uh, being weird. That's what we're doing. We're being weird. Hey, Miss Gypsy. Oh. Okay. So we always try to find something different to do here. So we have Clarendon's Cunning Cocktails. One is kind of trivia, and the other one is Minute Mysteries. We're going to play with the Minute Mystery ones this week, I think. They're so cute, though. The little cards look like bottles. Kind of cool. Alrighty. Let me do this. Copy. Close. Let me see. All right, let me find, there it is. I got all kinds of stuff. So we're just kind of hanging out, doing stuff. I don't even have a topic this week. Harry, for the love of Pete, leave me alone. What is your deal? You're like on Uber Kitty annoying. You are. You are being Uber annoying kitty. Get out the way. I'm putting this up here. Move your booty. Move your booty. Go on. Scram. I need to put this thing away. It's been up on my desk for 2 weeks. It's driving me crazy. I'm getting rid of it. There we go. It is put away officially now. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Put that back down there in the other old kitty cave. Yeah, since you don't go in there anymore, I'm going to pull the pillow out. So. All right, let's see. Let's go to live chat. There we go. Gypsy said hi to you. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would say hi to you. You're such a pain. Here, I'm going to give you some treats, and then you're going to go away. Okay? There you go. Oh, there's no last one there. You go. Okay. How'd your treatment go today, honey? Hi, Chris. Chris, we got to talk, babe. So I sent you your package, and it was returned to me undeliverable. So if you would text me or email me, whatever works for you, your current address so I can check to see that I've got it right. That would be so helpful. Thank you. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, it is cold outside. What it is we live in a bowl. Vegas is in a giant bowl. We have mountains all the way around us. And there is snow up there right now. So the wind is coming in and it goes down the mountains and all this cold air gets pushed in down here. So yeah, freezing our butts off. Well, send me the address just to be sure that I have the right address. Let's do with that. Let's deal with that first, okay? What am I doing? Oh, I gotta take my pills. Yes. Okay. Because if that's the reason, I'm gonna be mad. Because that was a flat rate. And I don't send those very often, but I think that one I did because it was like $4 more if I sent it the other way. Something like that. Anyway, so I just want to make sure we get it to you. I don't know. It's been weird. I've had, like, in the last month, I've had like 5 packages returned. All not deliverable. Filling up my drinky cup with my fresca. Okay. Patty Ann! Patty Ann! Patty Ann, you want to come play with me, Patty Ann? So I got these. I think they're stinking adorable. Once we play them, I'm going to send them out to everybody, I think, in Happy Mails. Because these ones look like this. And I'll show you the other one. The Claritin's Cunning Concoctions Bluff Trivia. Right? These ones look like this. How cool would these be, like, in a Halloween journal? Right? But they're just so stinking cute. I think I paid like $3 for all of them at the thrift store. Okay, fine. Next Friday works for me. Y'all heard it here first. Yeah, I'm going to torture Patty Ann next week. Hi, Christine. How are you tonight, honey? Let's play with our new glue. Precision tip and sponge tip. Photo safe. Scrapbooker's glue with 2-way applicator. I've never seen this glue. I like their glue stick. Let's see what their glue looks like. There was only one in the bag, so, I grabbed it. I got this, So we need something to glue together. Here, let's glue this together. We'll glue this to this. Oh, precision tip applicator. Like, this might be my glue bottle. You know what I mean? You never know with me. Hold on. Nothing's coming out. There we go. Okay. So we have glue. Closing it. How long should we wait, do you think? I say we give it 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, so we've got it glued down. Sorry about the arm in your face. All right, so we've glued it down, and we're giving it 1 minute. We're almost halfway done. Hey, Marie. You doing good, Christine? Good. I don't know. This may be the matchup from hell. Me and Patty Ann. Hi, you're back. Okay, I see that. You know, I know how to get rid of you. I do. Watch. Bug! Could you come here and help an old broad out? Could you get a can of cat food? Hold on. All right, that's a minute. Let's see how this glue works.
What do I do?
Okay, so open that can of cat food and put a third of it in his bowl, a clean bowl. Make sure you don't put it in the one that's got heat in it. And then put the can in that plastic that's got the green top on it that's back there on the back of the counter. Yeah, put it in the fridge. Thank you. No. Okay, so we have a minute. Let's take a look. Let's see how it worked. Oh, damn, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. That might be good, like if you have like something you need to like, you know, move around on the paper. That might work. Okay, that was fun. All right. No, we're not putting glue in his bowl.
It looks like it, just with more disgusting colors.
Yeah, as soon as he hears that, he runs away. It's how I get rid of him for, you know, 5-minute segments during the day. Cat eats like 20 times a day. That's all he ever wants to do is eat. All right, so let's do this. So these are Claritin's Mystery Tonic 1 Minute Mysteries. Who done it? Now, this is age 10 and above, so we should be able to do this, right? Thank you, Chris. The case. So here's your case. Gavin is wanted by the police for numerous bank robberies, but the police don't know his real name or what he looks like. Although he's broken into more than a dozen banks and stolen millions of dollars, he's never actually set foot in a bank. So the mystery, what is the main tool Gavin uses to commit his robberies? I will give you some clues. He does not use weapons. He always works alone. It's impossible for bank tellers to identify him because they have never seen him. The police don't even bother to review the images captured by the security cameras. And he is a high-tech wizard. So the mystery is, what is the main tool that Gavin uses to commit his robberies? Patty Ann says, a computer. Yes, he hacks into the bank systems. These are kind of cool. They're kind of cute. You're not making your gesso. I could make gesso. I need gesso. All right, the case. A group of 4 comes together and follows a road that they believe will lead to enlightenment. The group's leader brings along a trusted companion. The group encounters aliens, alien animals, metaphysical phenomena, and extreme allergies during their travels. The mystery is, what is the name of the leader's companion, and in what city does the road end? The clues. All 4 members of the group sing. 2, you will not find the city on a map. 3, there are no signs on the road and it isn't paved. Number 4, the city is named after a precious gem and the road is made of brick. The companion is a 4-legged animal. The mystery, what is the name of the leader's companion, and in what city does the road end? We need to know what the name of the leader's companion is and the city where the road ends. Ah, yes, Miss Chris. Yes, true. The animal's name is Toto, and the road ends at the Emerald City. These are fun. They're kind of cute. I like them. All right. You guys want to do an ad-lib? An adult ad-lib?
I just couldn't think of a further song.
Let's do an ad-lib. I'm going to get the book.
Ow. Ow. Getting too old to stretch. Ow. Ow. Oh. All I did was stretch, and I think I hurt myself. Hi, this is Mike from Cox Business Support, calling on a recorded line. You're a little hard to hear, like you're in the back of a room.
Okay. So we have our supersized Mad Libs.
Oh, that's much better. I think you said your name was Katie?
We're just going to flip. I'm going to stop and we'll do one.
Mercedes. I was close. Okay, I have a dark fiber small cell ticket that is in the Connect queue.
All right, here we go.
It's been sitting there for a little while now with no update from your TechNet.
All right.
I was curious to find out if we could get something to go on that to Randy.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. Yep.
He knows stretching is dangerous. Never trust a fart or a sneeze or cough.
If you could just check.
Okay, guys. So
we don't ever
first one we need is an adjective, and an adjective describes something or somebody. So, like funny, lumpy, messy. I need an adjective.
897-2475. No, 2475. Yep. No problem. It's not a hotel.
Sparkly.
It's a dark fiber small cell tower. I know usually
Verb
you guys
ending in
use hotel,
ing.
the motel things, but
So
this ain't one of
running,
those. No, you're
jumping, a verb, an action word.
It's going to be ticket number 32151099.
Flying. We're also going to need a number and a noun.
All right, thank you.
$22. Let's see. Don't take anything out, guys, because when I need extra stuff, I'm going to put it in here. Nouns. I need nouns. Jersey. Twitching is a verb. Ooh, here we go. Dinosaurs. We need we need more nouns, more verbs. I need a plural noun. Number 12. Okay, no more numbers. We need nouns, an adjective. Oh, I need a place. Nerds, plural noun. Very good. Trees. Oh, we need one adverb. Crazy town. Okay. Grumpy.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I really appreciate it. More importantly, I'd just rather they update the ticket and we can.
All right. We need 3 more nouns.
That way, because I'll be honest, I'm only here for a little bit longer this evening, so they're not going to want to drop to me directly. But if they could update that ticket, that'd be fantastic. Let us know when they're going to be able to dispatch on that cell tower and get that looked at. That'd be fantastic. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Mercedes, and you have yourself a
Tierra.
Thanks. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Also need an adverb. Hey, Steffi G. Verb. Swiftly. And quickly. All right, 2 more nouns and an adverb. Which swiftly can be an adverb. Swiftly. Okay, so 2 more nouns. 2 more nouns, person, place, or things. Okay, birthday card. One more noun and an adjective. Magic wand. And let's see. So we need an adjective, something that describes something or somebody. Like lumpy, soft, ugly, messy, short. Psychiatrist, we could just go with crazy. No, we already got Crazy Town. We need one more, an adjective. Somebody give me an adjective. Skinny. Nobody around here can get blamed for that one. All right. Let's see. All right. All right, here we go. I have to find the thing. Where did I pull it out of? Not here, I know. I should have put a bookmark in here. Gotta find the unicorns. Not the puppies. Here we go. I really should have put a marker in here where I pulled it from. Here it is. All right. Okay. You're fussy cutting dinosaurs. All right, so this is called a genie's contract. That's our Mad Lib for today. Be sure to read the sparkly print. The individual responsible for flying the lamp is entitled to 22 wishes to be granted by the dinosaurs inside. Limit of 44 wishes per master or 1 tree per day at the genie's discretion. A tiara may be submitted for a lamp, be substituted for a lamp at any time, and offer only grumpy at participating locations, excluding the Crazy Town. Let's see. Excluding Crazy Town, official wishes must be limited to 12 characters in order to minimize skinny consequences that may twitching due to uncertain verbosity, may not be used to make a person quickly in love or combined with any other birthday card or offer. The lamp or substituted magic wand may be surrendered after the final wish. Wishing for more nerds is swiftly prohibited. I don't know. We just do weird stuff. We just do some weird stuff. This is super Mad Libs. There's 5 Mad Libs in here. There's this one here and the doggy ones. And then let's do a doggy one. should be. I won't lose my page this time. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? Person in the room. Let's do Hubbard. All right, we need parts of the body, plural. Two adjectives, 4 nouns. A plural noun. All right, we got hips. Wow. Eyes. Knees. Hey, Carla. Let's see. We still need nouns. 2 more body parts. Okay, we got Dominic for another person in the room. Heart. That is a part of the body. Yes, it is. All right, still looking for adjectives. Several nouns, an adverb, and an exclamation. Yeah, I guess YouTube would count. Go away. Good. Sit, stay, Ubo. Withering. All right, let's see. So we have, I need 1 adjective. What's the first one there? Thrifty. All right. Let's see. Then we have withering. All right, we need nouns. Lots of nouns, guys. Still need 4 nouns and 1 adverb. Chef. Son. I got a conjunction. Annoying. All right, still looking for nouns. Stick. We'll make that the plural noun. Sticks. Let's see. One more noun. A perfect place or theme would be broom. I like broom. Broom works. I see that one. All right, let's fill it in. I need another body part. I need another part of the body.
Elbow.
Elbow. Thank you.
Most underrated, most sorely moved, you lost or missed. It's not working.
Okay. Okay, guys. There's supposed to be absolutely no moderation on this. All right, let's go for a ride. Hubber, come. I hear my owner call. My hips perk up. Is that the sound of the garage door opening? Suddenly, I'm excited from my head to my eyes. Can it be? Am I going for a withering car ride? I bound for the door where I see my owner getting into the car. She pats the seat. Come on, YouTube, she calls. This is the best chef ever. I hop happily into the front seat and immediately stick my heart out of the window. We drive down the street, passing houses and mailboxes and sticks. I can feel the wind in my knees and the sun on my elbow, and everything smells thrifty. Where are we going? I wonder, annoyed. So you can imagine my son as we pull into the parking lot of Dr. Dominic's office. We're going to the vet? Go away! This is the worst broom ever. All right. Anyway, we have quite a few of these that we can play with. Just not today. And somewhere around here, I do have a book of adult Mad Libs, but I don't know where it is at the moment. Hey, Jamie, how are you, babe? All right, 7:45. Take the pill. I may have just taken them. I don't remember, but I'm going to do it again. So, I'll either have a belly ache or my headache will go away. All right. I gotta put the rations back in there. So how the hell is everybody? I'm like, weather has been so weird. It's like I live in the freaking desert and it's in the 40s and people that live on the East Coast are at like 70 degrees. Y'all just see Mother Nature going, hold my beer. I mean, what is going on? I know. It's going to be in the 80s. Hi, Cheryl. What you doing, Sherry? Okay. Yeah. It's just weird. It is freaking weird. It is so cold here today. Yesterday, it was 46 degrees. I went and picked up my granddaughter and, we went, did some running around and some shopping and stuff. And, she's like this big at the middle. That's the waist. She's about that big. And so I always warm the car up before she gets into it. I can't stand having the heater on in the car because I'm claustrophobic. Really bad. And I like to have the window down when I'm in the car because I'm claustrophobic. And yeah, no, couldn't do that because I had to put her little butt in the car. So I went out and like you could not see the mountain all day yesterday. Like the whole mountain was just gone. At least, the one that's closest to my house. And today it's white as can be. It is covered in snow all the way down to Red Rock, which is in the valley. So yeah, see what is going on? It is so weird. Okay, Gypsy, Janie, you guys are both in Texas. That should be good. Yeah, and the wind was, oh my God, the wind was so bad yesterday. So bad. And it's, again, because we live in a bowl, and so the wind comes in from the mountains all around us. People think that, Vegas is the desert. It's just, no, it's a bowl. Literally, no matter where you look here, there's mountains around us. You have to go over the mountains to get to Arizona. You have to go over the mountains to get to California. You have to go over the mountains to get to Utah. And that's kind of the 3 ways out. So no matter which way you go, and you head straight into the mountains going north, going up to northern Nevada. So because you go through the Sierra Nevadas. So we have mountains all the way around Vegas, and it's a big valley. And right now, the mountains that are between us and California are coated in snow. And so the wind that comes in from California comes over those mountains and just blows that cold air right into the valley. Redonkulous. Yeah, this has been the coldest. Like usually by this time of the year, I'm in my big Snuggie. I got it out, and I think I put it on one time, and it was too hot, so I took it off. But I haven't really worn it at all this year. Usually by now, when we go out to smoke a cigarette, we have one of those little portable space heater things, the little propane ones. Usually by now we have the little space heater going to keep warm. I take a blanket outside with me for my legs, and I wear my big hoodie thing for, my big Snuggie. No. Haven't needed it. Like I said, last week I was most of the people were walking around in shorts and capris. Now all of a sudden, we're in the 40s and freezing our bahippies off. I ain't even got any bahippies left. I froze them all off yesterday. And then, like this morning, I got up. Beautiful blue skies. Gorgeous blue skies. Of course, that just means it's colder because, But by afternoon over here, those big black clouds were coming in again. Same thing yesterday. We were out yesterday. We looked. There was like just a nasty black cloud sitting over most of North Vegas. As I was over at Rainbow in the 95, and just right there at the Rainbow Curve, there just a black cloud, just right there. And Sherry knows where I'm talking about. And it was just, wow, mean looking. And by the time we got home, and I lived underneath where that black cloud was, by the time I got home, the black cloud and there was little spots of blue. And I was like, oh, it's clearing. No, it then downpoured. See, it's weird. It's weird. And it's just all over the place. All over the place. Like, what the hell? I don't know. I need to, I'm going to put this down because I'm going to cut these because I need them for my thing. And I think I'm going to cut them. I want to cut them out of brown, I think. Gray, black, brown, brown, brown. What do I got? What do I got? Whatever color I come across first, that's going to be the one I use. Nothing. Scrap paper. Let's see what's in there. We'll find one in there. Yes. There has to be a piece in here someplace, right? Okay. Oh, I think I see a piece of black. Oh, I can't use that. Okay. Nope, that's all embossed. I just need a small piece of paper for this. Brown. Okay. Dang. Figured what the heck while I'm sitting here, and I remember I saw him and I was like, okay, yes, you need to cut those out. Okay. Here we go. Still can't find your dice. Oh, baby, I am so sorry. No, yeah, I think she needs a hormone replacement therapy. I definitely think Mother Nature's in menopause. She's having hot flashes all over the Northeast, and there's unknown liquids in the South. Absolutely. All right. All right, let's get rid of that. Put these back in the drawer. Doo-doo-doo. 3 more bags of garbage. Very good. Absolutely, we will. And you can say that anytime you want. Honey, this is your family. You know that. You know that. We will all keep that in mind. And you and you know, the whole family. We're with you, girl. Okay, get this out of here. I don't know why they included that. Just not even worth it. You know, put that out. I'm going to take that one out. Gotta get that out. There we go. Okay. These 3. We'll get out once we get that out. That. 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 This. Okay. Put that back up there. Get the pieces and parts. That's good. That one's good. This one. Okay. All right. Those are all kind of. Okay. And I'm going to send a message to Michelle right now so she can send angels because that's what she does. I know her angels are good. They've saved my butt a few times. Okay. Got the angel squad on it. Yeah, that's Michelle. I'm telling you, Michelle's angels, they are some exhausted creatures because every time I'm on the road, I told her she needs to get Life 360. She won't do it. She will not get Life 360. She's like, no, 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 no. That would just be terrible because then she'd really, really like flip out and worry. Okay, so we're going to put it down here. Which one should we put on here? Ooh. Let's see. This one or this one? No. This one? Down here? No, let's do this one. Because this one just says handmade. I'll just do this one. A little bit of glue. I always have, I don't know why, but I always have to look at it and decide which one I want to do. You know? Right there. Which one do you want to put on the book? I don't know. I like this one because it's got the little scissors on the end. I think it's cute. It was all out and I didn't have the right color to put in here. So I did it in brown. That is the official, somebody made this by hand, knock it off. It's supposed to look funky. Okay. Let's see. Where is that thing? Not that one. Haha, here it is. This is the book of useless information. Thousands of things that you didn't think you needed to know, and you probably don't. From the Useless Information Society. There a bookmark in there? There is. Okay. Hold on one second. She's sending you prayers for strength and peace for you and your family and for your dad, because that's what she does. Okay, here we go. Each king in a deck of playing cards represents a great king from history. Spades is King David. Clubs is Alexander the Great. Hearts is Charlemagne. And diamonds are Julius Caesar. Let's see, what else do we have? This is an interesting, stupid fact. The ridges on the sides of a coin are called reading or milling, and a dime has 118 ridges around the edge, while a quarter has 119. See, this is stupid stuff. I am not the person you want to play trivia with, because I know the stupid stuff. My kids were always like, that is the dumbest thing, and you know it. Oh, here we go. Wow. Some toothpaste contains antifreeze. What? What? Wow. The Australian 5, 10, 20, 50, and $100 notes are made of plastic. Yeah, cleans your teeth and gets your motor running. Yeah, the glycolic acid, yeah. Which is actually deadly to animals, by the way. Let's see, what other weird stuff can we find? What? At the height of its power in 400 BCE, before the Common Era, the Greek city of Sparta had 25,000 citizens and 500,000 slaves. This one's good to know. In ancient Greece, women counted their age from the date they were married, which means I'd only be like, I don't know, 15. I know, right? Why wouldn't you revolt? 500,000. It's only 25,000. Holy crap. That's like 6 slaves per person, you know? Chris, I'm 0. Do you start over if you get divorced? I don't know.
Or do you go back to your original age?
I know. Hi, you're back again? You're back? In the 1700s in London, you could purchase insurance against going to hell. How did they know if you were going to collect? like who determined if your soul went to heaven or hell and paid your beneficiaries? Yeah, and whoever collected. And because like I've worked insurance, okay, where insurance works on, probabilities and not, what is the probability that something like that would happen? So, like, could Scrooge be denied coverage? I found this book at Five Below, and I just thought it was funny. What? Okay. I don't care about that one. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly, Carla. Let's find something. Oh. Holy crap. A jumbo jet uses 4,000 gallons of fuel just to take off. What? Holy crapinoli. All right, we need to go back to the days where, we just got giant cannons and shot people where they wanted to go. Something tells me that would take less energy. Actually, on that, the church has always sold get out of jail free. Do you know that back in the day, if you had enough money, you could get married, you could get buried inside the church, inside the actual building. And then they would pray over you as long as your family continued to pay. If your family stopped paying, they moved you out. They were like, oh no, we're done with your soul. You got to move on. Move on. Your soul is no longer wanted here. Move on. Yeah, talk about your foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot. Now here, this is cheap. Ready? American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by eliminating one olive from each salad served in first class. No, I'm sorry. You only got 3 olives on your salad today. 3 olives. We had to make major cutbacks. So only 3, not 4, 3. Only 3. Imagine what they would have saved in first class if they stopped putting olives in the martinis. All right, let's see. Here's an interesting one. Isaac Asimov. If you grew up in our generation and you knew anything about science fiction, you read Isaac Asimov. Is the only author to have a book in every category of the Dewey Decimal System. How weird is that? Yeah, they do. Except for names like that. Like Jim Morrison would never be kicked out. But there is the band, the Doors themselves, they did get the production company to, it's like 1% of sales is donated to the cemetery. And then they made the cemetery that Paris made, the production company put up the gate around Jim Morrison's grave because it was being destroyed by all the people that were putting their hands on it and kissing the sculptures and stuff. Yeah, it was a mess. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cemeteries. And a lot of burial practices are just, it's like New Orleans. In New Orleans, you lease the cemetery. Usually there's like a family plot. And because it's all above ground, they put your body in there until it decays down to a certain point. And then when the next person comes, they just automatically cremate your remains. And then they're usually put in a small box, either under or above, depending upon if it has an attic space, so that they can clean it out and put in a new person because they just don't have it. And there are cemeteries in Paris and in Italy like that too, where not because of the water table, but just because of by the late 1700s, there was a problem in most of Europe. And that is that, everything was filled in. Japan is the same way. Japan has above ground shrines for their dead. Very rarely do they bury somebody. They put them inside the concrete or marble or whatever it is, to allow them to decay to a certain point. Then they cremate the remains and put the remains in a small container back in there. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I remember growing up. Let me put this bookmark back in here so we know what we were doing next time. When I was growing up as a kid, and I didn't really think much of it, but I would go to visit my dad, and my dad would take us to upstate New York where my grandmother lived, my paternal grandmother. And he's just so sacked out right now. There would be, and this is very common, like you don't see this on the West Coast. This is very much an East Coast thing, like small, tiny little graveyards. And I didn't know it at the time when I was little, but later on I learned that those are family graveyards, like private family graveyards on private family land. So if you buy an old farm or something out there, you're buying that graveyard too. And it's in the contract that you have to take care of it. You have to weed it and mow it and trim the shrubs and everything. It becomes part and parcel of the property that you do buy. You cannot move the bodies. So you're driving down like this small little country highway, which is like one lane in each direction kind of thing. And off to the side of the road, there's like, you see a barn and a house, and then there's like 20 tombstones. And they're not little. These are big tombstones, tall, like 8-10 feet tall. They're, some little ones, but a lot of big monuments. But they're family plots. And I didn't know that until I was, later on. But yeah, you can, in a lot of places back, especially New Jersey, upstate New York, you see a lot of those little, and when you buy that land, you buy that cemetery too. Hey, parking lots are a good place to look for people, though. I mean, that is where they found, the missing king of England.
Arthur.
Not Arthur.
Pretty sure it was Arthur they found.
Yes, Texas, you have to have 10 acres to have your own family cemetery, and you have to be so many miles outside of major city limits. But yeah, in upstate New York, in the rural areas of upstate New York, parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, certainly, especially Dutch country, you see these little cemeteries all over the place, and you expect to find a church, but there's no church. Now, I have seen there's a couple of them up where my grandfather used to live. I want to say that it was Grand Bend in upstate New York. He owned a lake up there. And down the road from him, there was a little cemetery. He didn't even know it was there. It was a little cemetery. It was in the woods, and it wasn't on his land. That land, he didn't know who owned it. But the only reason he even paid any attention to it was because there was a tiny little church. Wasn't much more than like 6 feet wide, maybe 10 feet deep. Tiny little white church. And he saw it when he was going down the road in the fall, and he realized there was a little white church there. And after a while, it started to look really dilapidated, and so he figured, what the hell? He went over and he painted it on the outside, and that's when he realized there were graves there. So my grandfather went in there and he pulled all the weeds and everything and cleaned up the whole cemetery, and went down to the county recorder's office to try and find out whose land it was, because it butted up against his. And they could not find the legal owner. Like, there was a name on the deed, but they had no idea where that person was. Yeah, so they don't play grandma in the backyard. Absolutely. Like, you can bury your dog back there, but not grandma, okay? I don't know. I think that would be more disturbing. Like, that would be very disturbing. What? But yeah, I know they do in Italy, some parts of England. I know they do it in New Orleans, some parts of Florida, and a few other places where they put the body in a mausoleum and let it decay. Then they pulverize the remains or cremate what's left when they have to put a new body in, because they don't have, and then they just put the small container back in. That's like just off the coast of Italy. There's an island, Peligvia Island. It was a plague. They put people over there during the plague. and sequestered them on the island. Then it turned into a mental institution, and then it was something else. And they say that the ground there is like 80% ash because they would cremate the bodies and then just put the ash down on the ground. And they say something like the land there, like the ground itself is like 80% ash. Yeah, my mom's about 10 feet away from me right now. I keep her in a box. That's so I can yell at her occasionally.
Keep my dad in the garage so I can talk to him when I'm working at the shop.
Yeah, he keeps his dad in the garage. And his dad and my mom would never get along. So his dad's not allowed in the house and my mom's not allowed to go out to the garage. It's like the rule around here. Hi, Harry. I had you fed. Why are you back? I don't know what we're going to do with this glue. It works, so we'll keep it, but yeah, it's outside of Venice. Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, and there's still buildings on it, and you can't get onto the island. Like you have to get an act of like the Venetian Congress to be able to go to the island. And then there's another one that's really bad. And it's, I don't know if it's in Japan or China, but there's an island, they call it Battleship Island. And it used to be, there was a mining community on it where they were mining, I think, coal or something, maybe gas, natural gas. I don't remember. But it's abandoned and you can't get on that island either. Your father-in-law's in your closet. Awesome. Coley sleeps in there on the box. That works. Hi, Harry. My mom is in a $25 hand-carved mahogany box that my daughter bought off of eBay or Etsy. I don't remember. But they wanted to charge me like $2,000 for an urn. And I was like, my mom's not a $2,000 kind of woman. Hi, Harry. You've already had Auntie Carla treats. You've been fed. You have crunchies in your bowl. What is your deal? No. I'm going to call Buggy and make him come get you. Oh my God, guys, yesterday, I thought I was going to lose it. So yesterday he's doing this. And I was like, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And Buggy was doing dishes. I said, come get the cat. He goes, my hands are wet. I said, I don't care. Get him with your wet hands. So Buggy comes over and he's in the loaf position. Buggy picks him up with wet hands. He remains in the loaf position. Buggy walks over and puts him down. He lays on the ground in the same position, like terrified to move because he was wet. You know what I spent on my mother's cremation? $350. I went straight to the crematorium. I didn't know that you were supposed to go through like a company. I just like, she was at the hospice and I was asking they came down and they were like very, very nice about it. And they were like, when the time comes, if you need some recommendations for facilities, we have a list of facilities that you can contact and they'll come, pick her up. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you. That's kind of helpful to know because my mom didn't make any final, arrangements. So when the time came, I went down the hall and I was like, yeah, I'm going to, start thinking about those arrangements now. And the guy gave me this, the male nurse, he gave me this list of places. And I called the first one and they wanted like $6,000. And I was like, what? $6,000 to dry her butt out, burn her up, and put her through a cremator? No. Hell, she ain't even all there. She got metal parts. That stuff you don't even have to put through the cremulator. And yeah. They did not think I was amusing. I thought I was freaking hysterical. They did not. They were like, lady, that's not even funny. I was like, yes, it is. It's hysterical. Ha! Ozzy. What is your problem? What is your mental defect?
I'm here.
I'm Ozzy. Let me put him outside. So I was like, okay, no. I called the next place. And they were like, they wanted like, I don't know, like $4,000. And I was like, I don't want a ceremony or a service or anything. I just want somebody to pick her up. Hell, I'll drive her over if it's cheaper. You know, I'll just wrap her up in some sheets and load her in the back of my van and I'll drive her over. I just want the body picked up, taken to the facility, put in the dehydrator, blaze it up, roast some marshmallows, cremulator, put her in a box and give her back to me. One of them let it slip. Well, that is just the basic. And they gave me the name of the crematory. And I said, okay, I'll get back to you. Well, I looked it up and there was a phone number for the crematory. And I called them and I said, excuse me, but do you offer the services of picking up the deceased? And they said, yes, we do. Where is she? And I said, well, she's not dead yet, but you know, this is where she's going to be. And they went, oh yeah, we'll send over a team. They'll come over with a gurney and, you know, all the stuff. And you can be as much a part of as you want. And we'll wrap her up and put her in the bag and put the top on her and put her in the van, load her up, bring her over. And I was like, okay, well, how much is it? She said, well, we just charge what we charge the funeral homes. I said, okay, how much is that? She said, it's $380. I said, $380? She goes, yes, but if you're in a hospice, you get a discount. Send them on over. My mom was cheap. She'd appreciate that. Because I remember just like a year and a half before that, we did my ex-father-in-law. And his cremation was like $7,000. And that didn't include the funeral because the funeral, they just had the cremated remains at a church with a picture of him. That was it. So apparently, yes, if you go directly to the crematorium, they do it cheaper because it's just what they charge. There's a lady. Let me see if I can find.
She's got to be on your feed somewhere.
Yeah, she's on my feed. Her name is Caitlin Doherty. Let me see. I'm going to go to her channel real quick. And let me get copy. Yeah. So this is a YouTube channel called Ask a Mortician, and the lady that does it, her name is Caitlin Doherty. She doesn't really post as prolifically as she used to, but she has a orderofthegooddeath.com, and she will tell you like crap about death and dying. She's a licensed funeral director, licensed mortician.
Yeah.
And she will tell you things. Now, there's some interesting stuff. For those of you that live in the Northwest, Oregon has passed a law for human composting where you can go and she actually does, I think she does a tour of the facility where you can have your remains sent and they put you in a box, and it's like a wooden box, but it's like a cooler almost. It's like it's lined. Anyway, they put you in there with a certain amount of mineral, rich dirts and stuff like that. And they keep you at a certain temperature, which actually allows the body to decompose down. And after so much time of being in that box, you basically turn into dirt. They do use a cremulator for the bones and the teeth and stuff, and they put that in the cremulator, and then they mix it back into the soil. And then you can pick either their location, and they own a piece of woods up there in Oregon, it's Oregon or Washington, or you can have, or you can take like a bucket if you want home, whatever you want to do. They have services right there in their facility, and you can come and sit by your loved one's box while they're in there mulching. Yeah, and then they plant trees and stuff. There's a new process that she talks about, which actually liquefies your remains. But she talks about, how it is legal in almost every state to have a natural funeral, that you don't have to have, there's nothing that says you have to be embalmed. Embalming is just to make it easier for the morticians, for the funeral home. It has nothing to do with you. It has not. There's no hygienic reasons or anything else for it. She explains it all. It's really kind of neat to listen to some of what she can tell you. I know, creepy, but still kind of cool when you think about it. But that's her channel, and you can go over there and watch some of her stuff. And she does talk about like like major catastrophes and things like that. Like what happened to the bodies on the Titanic? How did they, what happens to people that get caught in, like she did Pompeii. She did a whole story on the bodies of Pompeii, which is an interesting, it's an interesting story. And what happened to the remains that were there in Pompeii. But yeah, she does all kinds of stuff like that. And she does advocate for natural burial, even though she owned her own funeral home. She actually owned a funeral home in LA in 2020. And there was it was ridiculous. And she kind of related all of that. But she literally will tell you, like, this is the realities of it. And she covers some topics too, like the people that owned, I think it was in Wyoming or Colorado, they owned those funeral homes and they didn't bury anybody. Do y'all remember those? Oh my God. How horrendous. Ugh. I'm having cremated. I am. I'm going to wrap you up in a towel and have them pick you up and take you away, and then 3 days later they're going to bring you back in a box. You look terrified about that. I will wait until you're dead, though, because I like you, sort of. Just don't tell anybody. Yeah, they were piled everywhere, and I think they owned like 2 or 3 funeral homes. Oh my God, those poor families. Oh. And then there were like families where they found people's bodies, but they had already been given ashes. What the hell? That was horrible. Horrible. I'm sorry, but the funeral industry, no bueno. I have, we have Pest, obviously. You know, if you've been here long enough, you remember Pest. Pest was 23 years old, 24 years old when he passed away. He was a Himalayan Persian Mau mix. So he had feet like this, just huge. And he was a sweet love, just an absolute love. He thought he was a Pomeranian because my Poms raised him. And when he passed, it was after my daughter's cat had passed away. And that cat had been through enough. It needed to be, respectfully handled. But we called and had the group come out, and they come to your house and they pick up your pet, and they're very, very respectful about it. Yeah. Yeah. Funerals were horrible. But my daughter, she has Onyx, that's her cat, and Pest always took care of Onyx. So when Pest passed away, she asked if she could have the ashes, and I told her yes. So when Pest passed away, she went to put the two of them together. She can't find Onyx. Cannot find him anywhere. Her anywhere. Ridiculous. I had a friend who passed away in 2020. And she was fine. And then she passed out, and they called the paramedics, and the paramedics came and picked her up and took her to the hospital. Because it was 2020, her family could not go into the hospital under any circumstances. So they had her in there, the whole 9 yards. By the time they got her into the emergency room, she had died. They immediately just marked it COVID, and her family was like, no, she doesn't have COVID. She wasn't sick. There was nothing wrong with her. And it took them and because of it, the policy there was that all deaths required cremation unless there was a religious exemption. But they had to take samples. They had to take all these samples, and they had to do full body scans. Well, her family was like, no, you can't burn her. It's a religious exemption. They got the religious exemption. They had her embalmed, and they buried her, which took them like 6 weeks to get it done. But they went back in 2024, and because the COVID thing never sat right with them, and they went back and had her body exhumed, and they had her tested by a private pathologist. And the other thing was that she had life insurance, and the life insurance company, of course, refused to pay out because it was COVID. And in life insurance, there's always an exemption for those types of issues. Like if there's a pandemic or something, those things are excluded. And it never sat right with them because she had 2 young children still. Like she had older kids that were in their 20s, but she had gotten remarried. And so she had like a set of twins that were like 10, 11 years old. And so it never sat right with the family that they just marked it COVID, and she hadn't been sick a day. So they had the body exhumed. I think it was in late 2023, early 2024. Night. See you later. Bye. Bye, Marie. Love you. Love you. Bye. But they had it exhumed. She had a brain aneurysm. That's what killed her. And so they had to change it, and then they went back, and the insurance company had to pay out on it. But she had to go through, they had to jump through hoops to get her death certificate officially changed. And the private pathologist that they paid for had to provide all the information to the county pathology department for them to review everything. And then they had to bring it up. And I guess they were doing this with a lot of people. Like if you died in 2020, anywhere from 2020 to 2021, they just boom, stamped it, COVID, done. And it was destroying, families, because these were like people that hadn't left their house. They made it through the first month without being sick. Nobody's leaving the house. They are being uber careful. Like I knew people who at that point were having groceries delivered and they were telling the people just leave it on the driveway. And then they would go out with gloves and masks on and they would take the labels off, wash everything down with alcohol or bleach or whatever, and then write on it with a marker what it was and then bring it into the house because they didn't want to touch anything that anybody else had touched. And yet somebody still ended up getting COVID and they marked it, or somebody died and they just marked it COVID. Yeah, they got paid more for it. That's exactly right. Which is just wow. But well, and that's the thing. City and state governments and hospitals and big business like that and stuff, they always do what is beneficial to them. Yes, they got paid, but the problem is that it overinflated the numbers. I remember in 2020, we watched that number, and I'm sure each one of you did. Here, our senator or congressman or whatever, I think it was our congressman, would send us a daily update via email. If wherever your district was, if they had your email, which they do when you because everybody puts that crap in there, you put on all that information when you get your voter registration. And so they would send you a daily update. Cases in your county, cases in your city, cases in your state. How many respirators are available? They gave you like this play-by-play, and I'm not saying that yours did, but ours did. And unfortunately, that overinflated the numbers. It overinflated the numbers because that pandemic did not kill as many people as they said it killed. But if you lived, apparently nobody in 2020 into early 2021 died from anything other than COVID. Like a car accident, COVID.
It was always COVID. Nothing else.
Like how did they die from COVID? This was head trauma. They got shot. The bullet had COVID on it.
I'll blame everything on COVID.
I got COVID. It wasn't that bad. I got it. I was sick for a couple of days. It was done. Now I have long-term COVID. That sucks. And yes, I know some people got it and it hit them very hard. My daughter got it so many freaking times it was ridiculous. Every time I turned around, somebody in her house had it.
I'm still convinced. You remember that time I actually came home from work? I'm still convinced I got it then.
Yeah.
Because I went in that day, I felt fine. By the middle of my shift, I was dug.
I'm glad I didn't do that.
I'm pretty sure I got it then because that knocked me out for like 3-4 days, and then I was a little bit better.
Well, if you remember, just before COVID hit, Alex and her whole household had that respiratory infection.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, it's just a respiratory infection. Here, just take these antibiotics. You'll feel better. And it was like a week later, everybody started feeling better. And they were like, antibiotics worked. Oh, by the way, there's this infectious disease.
Yeah. Welcome to COVID.
I think personally, let's get conspiracy theory on this. There was really nothing going on. They just needed to back down the greenhouse gases a little bit, clear up the atmosphere a tad. And, they wanted to take care of major construction. That's what Vegas did. At no other time could Vegas actually be able to shut down the strip long enough to do the repairs that needed to be done on the strip. But all of a sudden they had like a month. A month. Everything was shut down for a month. I went down and drove down the strip. As a matter of fact, I think the video is still posted on the channel. They had the whole street torn up. The whole strip. They put in new drainage. And if it hadn't been for COVID, that never would have gotten done. That I think maybe they just came up with COVID. But yes, the first time you get it, it sucks. But after that, you have an immunity and it doesn't bother you anymore. Like my daughter, I say this, that her whole family had it because when she went and got tested, she had no active symptoms, but she had COVID present, which means she had the antibodies, which means she got it before it mutated. And she never really got it bad. Like they all had this like upper respiratory sinus infection thing going for about 2 weeks, week and a half, just prior to COVID coming. So, and I firmly believe that she had COVID. Yeah, somebody dies of a heart attack, they put COVID on it because they got paid more for that. And now everybody uses it as an excuse. Prior to COVID, I could go get my nails done at the salon, and I could get a set of gels put on, gel polish, and it was like $20. Actual acrylics, if I wanted to get acrylics done, was like $30. Now it's $50 to go get a gel manicure, and it's like $70 to $80 to get acrylics done because now there's all these health and safety and hygiene fees. Restaurants in Vegas still charge hygiene fees for cleaning your table after you leave. They don't do that. There's no way that in a busy restaurant, in a big restaurant, in a fancy restaurant, that they come over and spray cleaner all over your chairs and your table and everything else and rub everything down and clean it with disinfectants and all this other. They don't do that shit, but they're charging you for it. Yeah. Absolutely they did. They knew that crap was coming. They knew it. And the reason it hit New York City so hard is because it came in to LaGuardia, Newark, JFK. It came in, it hit everything because all of those are international hubs. They knew it was coming and they did nothing to stop it. Drink some bleach. No. Okay, that was probably below the belt, but it was still funny. All right, guys. I got to get out of here because in 15 minutes, I got to be in the spiral killing stuff. Yeah, we're beating stuff up. All right. What? So, next week, Patty Ann's going to join me. We're going to be live for Friday Night Nuts. And I will be here tomorrow night for Mixed Media. We're going to go... Wednesday, we'll be working on the Steampunk Journal. Sunday, we're back to our 12-year-old boys in the not so, family-friendly feud. And don't forget, Project 4, challenge number 4 for the Projects of 26 challenge is a playing card and finger painting. This is an interesting one. I will eventually get mine together. I keep forgetting to grab the card, but I'll do it. Don't forget, let's send out prayers to Janie and her family. I think that's everything. If you would like to have all of my, socials and stuff, go down and cyberstalk me by clicking more in the description box. Until I see you again, stay hydrated, stay warm, and stay well, my friends. I love you guys, and I will see you soon, okay? Thanks for spending your evening with me. Bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Well, don't come on Sunday. Go to Benny and get pictures. We need Benny pictures. It's been a while.